of Article 6 of the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization 2005 Statement on Bioethics and Human Rights. Article 6, Section 1 states, any preventative, diagnostic, or therapeutic medical intervention is only to be carried out with the prior free and informed consent of the person concerned based on adequate information. The consent, where appropriate, should be expressed and may be withdrawn by the person concerned at any time for any reason without disadvantage or prejudice.
Especially if it has the chip and aborted fetus cells. No effing thank you!
Article 6, Section 3. In no case should a collective community agreement or the consent of a community leader or the authority substitute for an individual's informed consent. To put it simply, this lockdown is in direct violation of our constitutional rights, which you swore an oath to uphold. And if the government mandates vaccinations, then it has committed a war crime against us, according to the Nuremberg Code. Another interesting thing about the Nuremberg trials and the legal precedents it has established is the fact that if you, as police officers, or a military soldier, or a healthcare professional, commits or acts as an accomplice to any of these crimes, then the onus is on you. You are completely liable, and the excuse that I was just following orders is not a justification for those crimes. I'm going to assume a good percent of you officers have children of your own, and like any good parent, you love and want what's best for them. We are at a crossroads. There are two paths in front of us. The first path is the one where we uphold our rights as sovereign people and our rights to have a free and democratic society. We open our economy back up so that people can be free to work their lives and live in peace. The second path is the one we are currently on now, where the government has usurped our sovereignty and our human rights away from us, in their pursuit for a one-world government communist dictatorship. The government has mandated vaccination, and with those vaccinations comes a microchip. I want you to picture your children living in that future, where all of humanity is microchipped, living under a dictatorship. This microchip is not just for medical history. It will be used as identification, it will be used to track you, and eventually all your financial information will also be on that microchip. You will be able to use it for your transactions. All of this will be gradually sold to us in the name of security and convenience. But the true ramifications of this scenario are that it will be complete slavery, servitude of the masses to the states, a very high-tech slavery that has never been experienced by humanity. If you want a glimpse of what this control structure would look like, look at China's social score system. Imagine your children are all grown up living under this scenario. Now imagine they are like me. Imagine they value freedom and are capable of critical thinking. They are outspoken in defiance of injustice. Given the fact that every communist dictatorship that has ever existed has always killed their citizens who dissent and speak out, what do you think the government will do to the people when they have complete control and face zero accountability? Do you trust that future? Do you want your children to live that kind of reality? Because I sure as hell do! And I will do anything in my power to prevent it. I know this is a lot to process, and it sounds a bit crazy, but I can assure you, this possible future reality is not only technologically possible, but already happening. It's already been approved of by our governments in the UN, included in documents such as Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 and the ID 2020 documents. These documents clearly spell out the future that the elites have intended for us. I suggest you educate yourself and read those documents. Your children's freedoms depend on it, literally.
No to enslavement!
Ask yourselves what your children's freedoms mean to you. Now that I have informed you of this information, can you go home and look your children into the eyes and be sure that you are on the right side of history? How many of your children's freedoms will be forfeited for the sake of your paychecks? What does that oath you took really mean to you? Will you do what is right and honorable, or will you do what you are told to do? If the government does not give us our freedoms back, then we will take them back. This shutdown is ending, with or without the government's permission, one way or another. We will never accept this as the new normal. Those that make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. When the government pushes us too far, we won't be protesting on the street with a megaphone. We will be inside of Parliament with hockey sticks and pitchforks. We took Vimy Ridge when no other country was able to. We burned the White House down not once but twice. If you don't think Canadians will take back our freedoms from our own government, you are sorely mistaken and in for a rude awakening. Albert Einstein once said, the world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them and do nothing. The tree of liberty must be refreshed from the blood of tyrants and patriots from time to time. I am willing to die for my freedoms. Are you willing to die trying to take them from me?
Good. Bravo.